Hi everyone, welcome back to another video and another layout for the Year with My Gnomies series. This will be for the month of April. Just an FYI to everybody out there, what my plan is for the rest of this year or for the entire year so far is I have been uploading these on the same day every month. So it started in January that I uploaded it on the 20th, so I just figured I would go ahead and upload it on the 20th of each month. The couple reasons for that is one, I was actually hoping to get photos with the still shot photos at the end with actual photos on the layout. That's so far not worked out, isn't going to work out. And number two, it just ended up being later in January, and I just wanted to keep it consistent for my sake, as you know, for doing the videos, it's a little bit harder anyways. This makes it a little easier, putting them up on the same day of every month. And then also, you guys will know when to expect it to pop up. So be sure to check back on the 20th of each month to see another one of these layouts. Let's get to the layout now, and I want to say this one I am going to kind of change up quite a bit. My goal with this entire, and I've mentioned this probably in the past videos, it's been a while since I've done the voiceover for one, so I don't really I don't remember what all that I have mentioned. But my goal was to basically duplicate their little samples that you can see up in the top left-hand corner. I have it sitting up there so I know what to do. But I quickly, into a few months into the year, I did all of these layouts last December, which is another thing you'll have to bear in mind is that I might not remember how I did all of this as we go throughout the year. But I wanted to do it and have you guys play along if you wanted to do it exactly like they had it. If you are doing single page layouts, will be so much easier, but if you're like me and you do a lot more double pages, it's going to take a little bit of work. And this month, I actually at first I didn't know what to do because this pattern paper that you see me cutting here, I thought was absolutely adorable. But the pattern paper that they use was on the opposite side of that cut apart sheet, and it was kind of this yellow floral, and I didn't like it. I kind of thought it was ugly. Just my personal opinion. And so I went back and forth. You might have seen in the beginning of the video, I was tapping my fingers, not really sure what to do. So I decided finally that I'm sure none of you guys would mind if I actually just went with what I want to have, or I want to do, what I'm going to like for my scrapbooks and stuff. And you guys can choose if you decide to do the yellow floral. Your paper cuts might have to be a little different than mine across the screen now. Like with every month, I plan to put what I cut each paper to. And if you are playing along as well, I would suggest going through the entire video before, because some things change. And not only this, but for the right hand page, there is that pattern paper I do piece together to make it work. And I know some people absolutely hate the look of that. With mine, you can't really tell. There's one small piece. In fact, I didn't even notice until I went to measure them to put them on to the screen for you guys. But trying to remember and keep my head around everything that I want to say in this video. I had originally cut this circle out with, these are scrapbook.com circles. I have to tell you, quick little plug in there for those, they're dies. They have exclusive dies, and they are some of my favorite because they are extremely reasonably priced. And you get a lot. They have alphabet dies. I've talked about them before, but those circle dies is more of a recent purchase. At least this was, back in December or whatever. So I will leave a link below to those. But if you want to try some dies, start there. Like I said, they're really reasonably priced. Anyways, I had originally cut that circle out. Now, so far, the layout of this layout sounds pretty funny, but that's kind of the best way to say it, I guess, is a lot similar to what they had. That pink circle, however, was really throwing me off because they were using the floral background, so their pink circle worked a little better. I think it was clashing too much with that green background because they also have a yellow background, which just wasn't going to work. Again, because I'm doing double pages, and if you are following along and have this collection and the coordinating solids, then you'll understand, but it's just, it gets to be a little complicated making sure I have what enough solids and everything for every layout, and the opposite sides of certain solids don't go, so they just don't stretch as far for double pages. I've learned that. I think I've mentioned that. You're going to hear that more throughout the year with this series. But I'm quite happy with most of the layouts. Now, anyways, so because I'm using that green background, I decided to go ahead and die cut another circle. That this time it's a scallop circle, and it is smaller. It's about between 4 1/8 and 4 1/4 of a size circle, so you guys can know that. And I die cut that out of the opposite side of this gnome pattern paper is, the 4 6x6 patterns. And so that is cut out of the green polka dot. Luckily enough, I'm still going to have enough of that pattern paper to do the right-hand side, which I wasn't worried about it at this point because I was thinking I was going to just add like 3 larger photos in between the 2 layouts, so that I wouldn't need any more pattern paper, but I'll talk about that more when I get to the right-hand side of the layout. The other thing I wanted to change was they have, for their title on this, they have Easter egg hunt as their title. Well, we don't really do egg hunts. We haven't for a long time. We used to do like scavenger hunt type things. I haven't done that in a few years. My kids are older. So I just more wanted this to be a very generic Easter layout. Today is actually the day after Easter in real life. Weird saying that in real life, but I I I have actually 5 photos from yesterday, and that will work pretty perfectly for this layout. In the still shot photos, you won't see the photos, but I do plan to do like a recap video at the end of the year, and I'm going to try to add photos to as many of these layouts as I can so that you can see some of the layouts with pictures. So I'm going to work on the second page now, and their sample again only has one single page, right? So I have decided to do double pages with a lot of these. I do think there might be 1 month where it's kind of a double page. It's more of 2 coordinating pages, but for the rest of them, I actually managed to get a double page layout that looks like it coordinates and goes together. So this one, I wanted to kind of mimic what was on the left-hand side, which I'm trying to do with a lot of the layouts, just kind of pull together the second page. And this is where I'm going to have to piece together that pattern paper. Now my photo mats, it did say on the screen, but I am cutting them all down to be 3.5 by 5, which you could see I was kind of piling them on top of each other there because that's what I was thinking I would do and just center them so I wouldn't need the pattern paper. But I quickly realized that that's kind of just not going to work as well. So I decide that I'm just going to go ahead and play along with this, and I'm going to make this work. And I don't know how, looking as I'm watching this video, like I said, I did this in December, so I don't really remember, but I don't know how I got this to work with die cutting that green circle out of this pattern paper. I did die cut a second green circle just out of the background paper that's more solid. So the one on the left-hand side is the polka dot green, and the one on the right-hand side is just the plain green. But here's where I'm cutting it down. So both of the pages, and I did write on the sizes when I put the sizes. I even wrote what size this little piece is, so that you would know as well if you wanted to piece them together. If you didn't want to piece them together, you could totally omit this. What I would suggest if you didn't want to omit this piecing together piece, I would suggest maybe just cutting 2 of the scallop circles or circles, plain circles, whatever you want, out of just the plain solid green. And then you wouldn't have to worry about having that polka dot green. And then you would have the full 6 inches of both this. I think it's 6 by 9 1/4 together is what they add up to. So just an idea there. And this side, the other thing I kind of am going to play or change up with this side of the layout is on the left-hand side, that scallop circle ended up being on the top, kind of, you saw it a second ago, it's on the top left hand of the page. So with this being the right-hand side of the page, I didn't want to put the scallop circle at the top of the page as well, because I felt like it really, I mean, I'm going to play with it here a little bit, but I felt like it really needed to have more of the be on the bottom right hand side, so that it would kind of, the layout goes from the for both the pages together, the layout will go from the top left to the bottom right type thing. And it is going to kind of throw me off a little bit, because that does leave that big empty white space up above the double pattern or the pattern paper. So you can see there on the very left hand side, the scallop is up above. So to, like I said, I'm going to put it down on the right hand side on the right hand page. Whole lot of directions, right and left and page, and I'm definitely out of practice from doing my voiceovers. I can tell big time. But we're getting there. Spring's almost over, and as soon as summer's here, hopefully I'll have a lot more time. But here's where I'm gluing that down, and I'm going to glue it down again on the bottom right hand side. So you can kind of see on the screen now that it goes from top left to bottom right, and that's basically how it stays. Let me look at this layout real quick. I did tuck, and I didn't even notice that till just now, that last little photo mat is 3 by 4, and I did slightly tuck it under that scallop circle. I don't think that would matter if you did or didn't. I don't know why I did. Maybe it just looked kind of cuter. So, and my title, by the way, is just going to be that Happy Easter over there. And then with all of these gnome layouts, I am adding foam adhesive behind the gnome stickers, so they are popped up on every layout. I even I got to the point where before I even start the layout, I was adding the foam tape before I even started, so it kind of helped just save on time a little bit. Now here's where I start playing with the circles, not the circles, the stickers. They had eggs. I'm trying to use up as much as I can as far as these stickers go, but I don't get, like I said, we don't really do an egg hunt, and that was a big title piece on there. I am glad that I cut these word stickers out. These are from the pattern paper that has the floral on the backside. It was with the die cut piece. You might have seen me at the beginning of this layout cutting out all of the, cutting these all out from that pattern paper. So what's going to throw me off with these is not only the sayings, but the colors. Because the two big circles are green, I'm trying to really mix in some other colors. And two, I'm trying to really fill in this area up on the top right-hand side so it doesn't feel so blank white. But what really is throwing me off is honestly the sayings, because the sayings that I wanted to use the most are ones that were green. Like I think it says hippity hoppity and Easter eggs and things like that. So you're going to actually see me play around with those quite a bit. And then I finally just turned the video off. And then when the video doesn't show all of it, but in the end, I do change and add I do take the April sticker, which I didn't add the month sticker to a lot of these layouts. But this one, I figure Easter's pretty much in April, so I might as well go ahead and do that, because this is for sure, because my title says Happy Easter, this is for sure an Easter layout. So I was okay with adding the month April. And then you might see there that I took the border sticker that was on the sticker sheet and I cut it into 2. And they do have this used on their sample layout, although they used it in a different way than I did. But I just kind of trimmed it down. I didn't measure. I just trimmed it down so I could add a little piece of it to both the right and left-hand page. You can see on the right-hand page it's still kind of half sticking up because I wasn't sure about it, but I do go ahead and glue those down. Now where that word says egg right now, that doesn't stay. I was trying to see if I wanted to do the egg hunt or if I just wanted to have that the word, but that is where I add the April title, and I call it good from there. And I think that is pretty much everything. The still shot photos are coming up now, so you can see how it turned out. I did go around and I added the last little jelly bean stickers and the floral stickers that were there. Oh, I did add one sticker in this shot here. You can see I added that little floral to the gnome's hat. I thought that was really cute, that little green flower. And then we have the entire layout here. It turned out so cute. I think it turned out really cute. I'm happy with it. And then at the very last two pictures you're going to see are the scraps that I have left over and the calendar page that I did. I almost forgot that I was even doing the calendar. So I hope you guys like this layout, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great month, everybody, and I'll see you next time.